Hi, this is Jeff Gentry, BPA, Bloodstain Pattern Analyst. I am here, it is New Year's Eve, and I'm going to try something different that I have never tried before. The way that I like to celebrate is with blood, of course, and so I am going to try drawing my own blood. I was a certified phlebotomist about 20 years ago, so it has been a very long time since I've drawn blood on living people. I've only been drawing blood on dead people for the last 13 years or so. So this will be quite a bit different, but I do need some real human blood for experiments this next year, so we're going to give this a try. What I have here, I'm going to start a timer. We'll see what that's for in a minute, just to see how long it takes for my blood to coagulate and stop bleeding on its own. So I started a little timer here. I've got a butterfly needle, and the only reason I'm using a butterfly is because I need the tube to be able to draw blood myself and hold it. I've got vacutainers. They have EDTA in there, which is going to help the blood to not coagulate once it's in the tube. I've got some tape to hold the needle in place. I've got alcohol swab, and then I got a rubber band to tie my arm off here. And then also I got my daughter's LOL Band-Aid to stop the bleeding, but I'm actually hoping that I make a bloody mess here. That way we have some things to look at. Alright, so I've never tried this before, so this will be a fun little experiment, but anything for science. Alright, so when you're tying off your arm, the reason you do it is because you want the blood to continue to flow in the arteries, but you don't want it to go back to your heart through the veins, so you want it to pool up and collect in this area. That way you can actually get a blood sample from a vein. And we're going for the vein. We're going to go right here in the middle of the arms, the antecubital space, and that's where veins run pretty close to the skin in that area. So I have a pretty good vein here right next to my dinosaur foot. So that's what I'm going to go for. I'm not wearing any gloves, but normally, of course, if I was drawing blood on a real person, I would absolutely be wearing gloves. Okay, so I've got everything all pre-set up. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my vacutainer here. I'm going to use the butterfly needle. Normally, you wouldn't want to use a butterfly needle for drawing blood just because it's a smaller gauge. This is a 21 gauge needle, and the blood, the cells, when it flows through the needle, it's going to hemolyze the blood sample. So for actually blood testing and getting like a complete blood cell count, normally you try to stay away from butterfly needle, but we're going to do this here just because for blood experiments, it's not going to matter. So let me see if I can actually uncap this by myself here. I've got my family here, so if anything goes sideways, they'll be here to help me out. Okay, so you always want to clean the area, of course. And a friend of mine at the hospital gave me all this stuff, so I know it is all clean and sterile. Okay, I am not a fan of needles and having my blood drawn, but I don't really mind doing it to myself, so let's see how it goes. Okay, we got blood. So we got the flash there. Alright, let's see if this works out. Nice, first shot. Okay, so we're going to collect 4 tubes. This should be enough to do a few blood experiments for a little while. I can't believe I actually got that on my first shot. That's pretty amazing. Then you just mix it in with the EDTA. That's going to prevent the blood from coagulating or clotting. So let's see here. Having trouble with this tube. It's still going. Okay. It's still flowing. If it gives me any problems, I'll stop. At least I got one good tube. I'm not a fan of really re-poking myself here. Kind of stopped flowing on me. Let's see, it might be a bad tube too. Let's see. Looks like blood's still in the, there you go. It's still in the butterfly needle, so I know I'm still bleeding and in the right spot. I'm in the vein, which is good. Okay. And the EDTA, people will call aspirin and EDTA a blood thinner, when it's really an anticoagulant. So it's not thinning the blood, it doesn't make the blood less viscous, it actually prevents it from clotting, so it prevents that coagulation cascade. It's kind of slowing down on me here. We'll see what we can get. I mean, this is just for experimentation only anyways, so I mean, if we don't get a ton of blood, that's not a big deal on this try. We can always try this again without a butterfly needle. So these are unfortunately not filling up all the way. Just kind of hoping we get multiple full tubes. There you go. If I keep my fist there, keeps the blood pooled up in the veins. So I'm going to do this here. Don't want to keep that on too long. So again, it's slowing down on me a bit here, but I think I've got enough that we can do some fun experiments. And I want to have samples to show that, you know, this is actual human blood. And I want it to be a clean specimen that I know is, you know, doesn't have any diseases or anything in it. That way I can feel safe working with it without gloves. Okay. So we got our blood here, and I was able to collect my own blood and draw my own blood.